directly behind it is one of the smallest mausoleums that I've ever seen. I don't even know if it's technically considered a mausoleum, but an incredible little structure here. And unfortunately you can see the plants. Oh, I thought those were plants, but there's some sort of fabric hanging up inside. Maybe some old decorations. Once again, an old bullet hole here, or some sort of impact damage, maybe from a stick or a rock too. But again, kind of difficult to get the names due to the bar size, but looks like we can do a decent job. Just big enough to fit 2 burials inside. But it's so creative, and this gives a great view here of just how massive this place is. And I might even have to come back. You can see way down there is another mausoleum, and then even way over here is a very large one. And then these 2 buildings over here are a very large mausoleum. You can kind of tell how many times this road has been worked on. There's this amazingly deep gutter system over here, which doesn't really match up with anything else around it. And so I'm imagining what's happened is the layers and layers of blacktop that have been put on top over the years have raised the road up this high. For the time being, we're going to head over this way and check out the Civil War Memorial and the mausoleums on the other side. And then I'll have to jump in the car to get to the rest. Look at this crazy looking archway here. Wow, the gap in between looks so scary. See, there's not actually a gap on this side here, but over on the other side there's quite a large space in between, and I can't see anything else holding it here. I'm guessing a lot of the pressure is what's actually keeping this thing up. Wow, this is up on a huge hill. I can see almost 10 miles away that way. So I made my way almost to the War Memorial, but I had to stop and film these right here. This is an incredibly unique family section here, and all of the headstones are an oval shape. And there's 2 different rows, and this is actually the front row here, and it's separated by the stairway to get into the family section. And then there's 2 more headstones on the other side here. And this memorial is one of the biggest that I've been to yet. I'm not sure how tall it is, but it's gotta be at least 50 or 60 feet high. And it looks as if it is a memorial maybe to all soldiers and not just the Civil War. And surrounding it, much like the last one I was at, are a lot of Civil War and war veterans in general, and it looks like a few cannons, although I'm not sure about if these cannons were actual battle cannons, even in the last one I was at, or perhaps was just put here and at the other location for decorative purposes and to represent the artillery that was used during the war. Being derailed currently by bikers who are, BMX bikers I should say. They're using the hills next to the mausoleums I want to check out to ride their bikes, which they aren't really doing any damage, so there's nothing really wrong with it. But my aim is not really to go over there and ask them to move or wait around, so I'm just going to take an alternate route here. Whoa, the glass has been completely shattered out in this one. A lot of the shattered glass is on the ground here. Somebody probably threw a rock at it. You can see how thin the glass was. And so it probably wouldn't have taken much to break it for good, especially with a pane that large. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and continue the search for this other mausoleum, which I believe is actually over this hill here. These are very, very neat here. Very muddy, even though they're not new. Front of it here is a huge pile of mud, as if they've been doing some work on it recently. So it's also become grounds for off-road vehicles to ride around. It's starting to get very interesting. This mausoleum here looks like it has some graffiti on it. Another fairly unique construction though. Whoa. The door looks like somebody has tried to break it down off of its hinges and is now just kind of propped up against the wall. The interior is pretty incredible here. Wow, the decay is really bad, but I love the mosaic style of the tiny little tiles there. Very interesting that one of the death dates is actually appears to be taken off or never put in. Doesn't look like there's any names over on the side. There's room for 6 different burials here, but only 2 names. I don't know what that is, but it did not sound like fireworks. That definitely sounds like military artillery being fired off. Look at this very interesting little plaque here. I'm sure that's not the original placement. It says perpetual care. And I'm not incredibly sure what that means. Please chime in below if you know what that means, because I've never heard of any place that does any type of perpetual care that isn't the responsibility of the family members. And I don't know if that's something that used to be offered a long, long time ago, or if it's just a loving message from a family member that wanted their loved one to know that they would always be cared for, or what exactly it means. Wow, there's a lot of tire marks Doesn't look like it's maintenance vehicles doing it either. It might be not necessarily putting the blame on the people that are in here right now riding their ATV, but it could be damage that's been done by ATVs. Stumbled upon an old road, definitely not cared for anymore, but a very clear grass pathway going either direction. And down at the end of this road is 2 more mausoleums. I almost missed this one right here. There's a woodpecker up on the tree. I've never actually spotted one up close like that. I'm guessing from the looks of it, this one has a double door. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see inside or not. The gate here has been broken off, but you can see basically the way this one works is a key goes in right here and then the door just pushes its way open. So not going to be any entry into this one today. They were members of the Oddfellows, with the sign or the symbology up on the top there. And all we have to do is go right down the hill, and there's 2 more. There's actually a little bit of haze coming off the hill there, as if someone's barbecuing or has a fire going somewhere. Ooh. I think we definitely ran into a dead end on this one. And not only does it have the big thick doors, but the glass has been replaced with metal, or maybe never had glass installed to begin with. It does kind of look like it was designed that way. And then we have one that is set back into the hill here. Again, looks incredibly secure. A lot of damage. Looks as if someone tried to pull the stone out at once, as it seems unlikely that it would rotate. It could have with erosion, but I'm almost guessing that somebody helped it along the way. But definitely sealed tight, so we're not going to be able to see the inside. Unfortunately, I'm guessing this one would be a really interesting one with it being set back into a hill like this, so I would love to be able to get a glimpse inside, but it's just unfortunately at this point not going to happen. Just this one large stone here on top of the hill. I thought it was going to be some sort of ventilation system. It's interesting looking. I don't even know if that's a fungus or what it is, but apparently it's fallen off the tree. Okay, I'm going to try and head back in the direction I came and get to the mausoleums that the BMXers were on, or not on, but nearby I should say, and try and finish that up before I hop in the car. Make sure to check out the second channel too, guys, for some really cool live streams where we do all kinds of off-topic stuff and then do Q&As and all kinds of weird discussions over there.